Hello everyone, and thank you for joining the CT Wholesale webinar. I'm just going to start the webinar process. First of all, just in case anybody's got any issues with audio, I'm just going to show this screen that allows people to dial in instead of using the built-in kind of speakers and microphones. Sometimes people have issues with that. So the audio on our webinars is always muted for the participants, but if you do have any questions, if you click on the little bubble link to bring up the chat box, you can always raise any questions throughout the webinar and we'll pick those up and refer to them during the slides or at the end of the webinar. So feel free to answer questions at any time. So we'll get started. So just about what we're going to cover on the CT Wholesale webinar today. So we're going to run through who CT Wholesale are, what CT Wholesale provide, how we can be so competitive in the marketplace, what additional benefits we can provide our partners, and how resilient and effective our portal is, which the partners will use to service the products that we've got. We're also going to talk through some pricing examples today as well. So go through the key services that we provide, cloud, connectivity, telecoms, and give examples on each one of those. So who is CT Wholesale? CT Wholesale is part of the CT Central Technology Group, which was established in 2002. We have a direct team focusing on servicing large enterprise clients, and we're a wholesale team who's focusing on servicing IT and telecom resellers. So just like any of the large providers in the market, like BT, Virgin, TalkTalk, who all focus on selling direct into enterprise, but then into the channel and into wholesale on IT and telecoms. So what type of services we provide? I spoke earlier about the three key things: cloud, telecoms, connectivity. So covered under cloud, you've got services like cloud servers, infrastructure as a service, anti-spam. Telecoms, we've got SIP trunks, hosted phone systems, lines, calls, WLR, all the traditional telecom services. And connectivity as well, including lease lines, Ethernet, broadband, fibre to the cabinet, and all the the connectivity services you'd expect to see from a provider. One of the key things that we can provide is a solution that pulls elements of those services together. So because we provide all of those services and all through different carriers, we can create a solution that's tailored around your customer's solution and help put that together, which comes onto service. So we have the technical pre-sales, marketing and account management teams here to be able to assist in providing those solutions to your customers and helping you put those proposals together. How CT Wholesale can be competitive really is all geared around our Tier 1 carrier connections. And that's just not to the typical Tier 1 carriers, such as we're directly connected with OpenReach, Wholesale on BT's front, Virgin, TalkTalk, and a number of others. It's also on the cloud and the telecoms and connectivity side as well. So for example, on cloud, when we're providing cloud servers, we're purchasing Microsoft licensing direct to give competitive prices on service provider licensing. So things like if you want to host Microsoft Exchange in the cloud or Dynamics CRM, then you can do so at competitive prices. We've also got an experienced managed services team within the group, and that comes across all areas, technical, operations and sales, because managed services is what the team are used to providing traditionally enterprise level. So now we've got a completely separate department team who are dedicated to providing that within the wholesale market. And automation through portals as well, not just externally to our partners, but internally here. We've got a number of portals that allow us to quickly provision and streamline the processes on getting the services on board, which ultimately brings the cost down for you guys. So just to dig a little deeper into our Tier 1 carrier connections, this diagram is a little bit out of date. It's developed even further since then. The development on our infrastructure's been fairly fast-paced over the last couple of years. But we've now got connectivity into 6 different data centres across the UK, and then the 7th being our office here, which includes a 1 gigabyte pipe to our data centre equipment across the UK. And the reason for that is because then it allows us to quickly provision things like cloud servers and upload lots of data. So, if you want to set up 4 or 5 cloud servers for a customer, then you will probably want to migrate that data. And if you need assistance or service in helping to migrate that data, then we can do that with our engineering team here. So at the various data centres, the reason why we use different ones is for resilience, because we're connected with different types of data centres, so different limited companies, which spreads the risk across the different data centre companies, such as Manchester Science Park, as well as geographically. But also because providers are connected into different data centres, so we have to, in order to connect into that provider, such as talking Manchester Science Park and BT in Telehouse North, we have to have switch equipment and server equipment in each of those data centres. And it also provides resilience if you're taking, for example, a cloud backup service from us. You can have that replicated across multiple sites. So moving on to some of the partner benefits. I think we've got a page on our website which actually runs through the partner benefits, which I'll just bring up shortly. It's quite useful. But one of the key things is once you get access to the portal, you get access to the tools, provide competitive pricing, and then we can set up your account to do the billing on how you want to do it. So if you just want to commission, sell a few products, we can do that. But if you want to completely manage the billing yourself, you can do that too. So we can help you get your billing established. We work with a number of billing providers in order to help you do that, and you can effectively provide those services just as they're your services. So all the invoices coming from ABC IT Company Limited, and the customer, it has the direct relationship with you, and we just provide that service in the background, just as you would purchasing from BT or Virgin or TalkTalk. So what I'll do is I'll just have a quick run through on our partner portal to show you the elements of what's included in the portal. So from our website, click through to the partner portal here, and that gives you access to the initial portal page, which explains the key elements and what you can do within the portal. And that will include things like service management, so we can click on each of these elements to allow us to access and service each of those areas. So whether you're wanting to edit a cloud server, or whether you're wanting to check someone's telecom billing, that can all be done in there. Pricing, so you get access to the latest pricing schedule, voice tariffs, provisioning through to order forms, sales tools, so if you're wanting to see PDFs on certain tools, then we can download those in there. We've also got education, news, events, and contacts as well, so you can get in touch with your account manager or person that's working within your account. So if we just have a look at the vCloud portal for today, I won't go into all the portal services, but just have a quick look. So if I click on that vCloud link and then log into the vCloud portal, so this is, for example, where you want to provide your customers with a dedicated server in the cloud. So that might be that they've wanted to move their SBS server and just have a server on premise, the server on premise, and move it into move the server on premise into the cloud, or whether you're wanting to spin up a cloud server just for those services. So if I go into the demo zone here, we can go into My Cloud, we can view the applications, we can see the network, so this can be configured by us or by yourselves. If you need assistance in helping configuring the network or the virtual machines, we can do that and help you with that as well. And you can see they're all listed there. You can add virtual machines, remove them, stop them, duplicate them. So it really does give you full control over all of the the portal. Okay, so moving on from that, onto some pricing examples. So looking at cloud, we've got a freedom of options on the cloud, and this allows you to look at different options within the cloud servers and tailor that to your customers or your needs. So for example, we offer a flat pricing on the cloud stuff, which is £6 per core and £6 per gig, and that's completely uncontended, which also includes a backup of all your cloud services as well. There's a number of different pricing options around that, and a number of different options on the storage, but at least you've got an idea of where the pricing sits. Just on Veeam Cloud Connect and remote backup, we can offer that from 10p per gig, but if you've just got a small quantity, then 15p is the highest price you'd ever pay on remote backup and Veeam Cloud Connect, and that's on resilient SaaS storage as well, so we're not using the cheaper SATA alternative. It's quick and it allows you to run virtual machines and do backups for those. Royal Penguin Anti-Spam, 40p per mailbox, got a lot of information on that on the website. Telecoms, one of the key campaigns we're doing at the moment is on SIP trunks. So with the telephony, you can get free SIP trunks on any of our lease line or Ethernet products. So if you're wanting to provide the customer with a lease line, guarantee that at a competitive price, located by postcode, and we can provide SIP trunks on that to your customer at no charge for the SIP trunks. You just pay for the cost of the call. On the connectivity front, as well as the lease lines and Ethernet connections, we've got more traditional connections such as broadband. So unlimited broadband with a static IP and priority traffic at £15 per month for a DSL connection, which for a business connection is competitive in the marketplace. We've got a full spreadsheet available with all the different pricing and options on it. It does show how competitive we are. Just going back to the diagram we were talking about earlier with the relative to our connectivity into BT Wholesale. The reason why providers like us are in the market is because you have to have the equipment and the infrastructure and the technology across all the different data centers to provide a resilient infrastructure to provide those reseller services. So it's not possible just for an IT reseller who wants to focus on selling IT and just providing those other services to customers to go direct to BT Wholesale, because they would have to put all the time, money and effort into developing all that infrastructure across the UK. But we've now got that established platform and are able to sell it on to IT resellers and telecom resellers such as you guys at a competitive price. So I hope that's given you a little bit of flavour about what CT Wholesale can do. We've covered a few of the categories in light detail, but what we're planning on doing is running quite a number of these webinars over the next few weeks, and we'll include more detail on SIP trunks, on the cloud connectivity and on the telecoms. If you had any difficulties connecting or trouble with accessing the webinar, we have recorded the webinar today, so we'll be saving that, uploading that online, and then giving you a link access to that webinar as well. Just looking at the questions we've had, I think someone was asking about Ethernet connectivity and whether that's included on the SIP trunks. So if you're using the Ethernet over fibre to the cabinet, Ethernet first mile, or lease line services, that includes 100 meg and 1000 meg bearers, then yes, you can have SIP trunks on any of those connections. It doesn't have to be a lease line, it could be one of the Ethernet connections as well. I think we've got one of the viewers that's had an issue with connecting, seeing some of the slide screens. So again, this webinar is recorded and we'll make sure you get a link across so you can see any of the examples of that. But if you want to run into detail on any of the partner portal examples and you want a demo just on any of the specific features of whether it's vCloud or whether it's ticketing or how we run our web billing through the portal for telecoms, then just get in touch with us and we're happy just to run those on a one-to-one basis as well. So thank you very much for listening to our webinar today on CT Wholesale. We'll send out a survey to follow and we'll speak to you soon. Thank you.